Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you new here, my name is Donna, and for those of you not new, thank you so much for continuing to come back and support my channel. I appreciate all of you so very much. This look today was recorded. I do have it coming up on the 26th. It is a collab, and I hope that you guys are going to be sticking around and staying tuned because it is a super fun collab with a super fun creator here on the platform who I have been really loving watching for the last year on my channel. And she has her own little makeup line and she is amazing, and I hope that you'll stick around for it. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Today I am recapping the brands that I told you last year in January that I wanted, well, this year, I guess in January, that I wanted to try in 2020. And as we know, the State of the Union kind of put a rock hard stop to a lot of new releases. It put a rock hard stop to a lot of like indie brand exposure. It did a lot. So when I say that knowing that I still could have ordered from many of these places and just didn't, because 2020 just wasn't a year for spending a whole lot until recently. And in the recent months, I haven't taken the time to purchase from these brands. So with that being said, in true recap of brands I want to try in 20 whatever fashion, I did not try as many brands as I wanted to in 2020. I typically choose 10 brands. I chose 10 brands last year, and I only was able to try 4 of those 10 brands. So let's go through the ones that I didn't try in 2020 that I had on my list, and then we'll go into the ones that I did try, and on a positive note. And then I will have a brands to try in 2021 video coming to you in the beginning of January. You guys know that's coming. You know it's coming. So the first brand that I didn't try in 2020 that I had on my list was JD Glow. And JD Glow is a brand that if I can get a screenshot of their Instagram, I'll put it up here for you. They have a lot of multi-chromes. They have a lot of beautiful highlighters. And I heard about them, I think first from Spooky Lips and Fat Hips. I've heard from them also from Smoky Glow, from Angelica Nyquist. A lot of beautiful shades, a lot of beautiful shadows, a lot of beautiful highlighters. And that was my jam in, the beginning of 2020. I wanted all those crazy beautiful, like highlighty, glowy, see me from the moon kind of highlights. And right now I think that the highlight that I have on my nose is a little bit too much. I don't know if I still want to try JD Glow as much as I wanted to when we rolled into 2020. Along the same lines is Give Me Glow Cosmetics. I do, though, still want to try them. I think that they have a little bit more of a representation that impacts me, that, makes me feel the warm and fuzzies and makes me want to reach out and grab something out of the interwebs and put it on my face. But Give Me Glow and JD Glow kind of go hand in hand. As a matter of fact, when I put both of them on this list in late 2019, I was confused by them because I thought that they were the same place. I kept hearing a lot of JD Glow, a lot of Give Me Glow, a lot of Give Me Glow, JD Glow, and kind of put them into the same spot in my head. So what I really need to do is, before rolling out my brands I want to try in 2021, is really dig into each one of those brands individually and decide if they're still brands that I want to try. And if they are, they will go on my list directly. But for now, I didn't purchase anything from either one of those brands. And I think it just comes right down to the fact that they're indie. I cannot touch them. And we had a pandemic that, stymied everybody's spending habits for quite a few months, actually. Next on that list is Divina. Divina Cosmetics actually has been on my list now for 2 years. It's either going to be a shit or get off the pot kind of brand for me. I am going to spend the next, few days going through this list and deciding whether there's somebody I want to roll into my next year's tally again, because I love Divina Cosmetics. Their whole aesthetic is absolutely amazing. But if they haven't driven me to their website to pull the trigger on purchasing something yet, they've been on my list. This is a carryover from last year. So they've been on my list for 2 years, and for 2 years I haven't tried anything. But sometimes that's all it takes, right? I think Melt was on my list for 2 years. I think Sugar Pill Cosmetics was on my list for 2 years as well before I actually tried them. But I need to dig in, really figure it out. Honestly, I think when it comes down to it, these brands didn't get tried this year because of the pandemic, because my spending habits were curbed, and because indie brands were kind of shut down for a good majority of time, because people weren't spending money and because they aren't in a storefront. There's that. Along those lines too are brands like Inglot, Lethal, and Cleona. So Inglot is just way too expensive. You guys, everything I have seen on their website is just an enormous amount of money. And in addition to that, I never hear about them anymore. So I'm not even sure that I want to try them. Now, when I go to the website, I think that they're beautiful. I think that everything about them is beautiful, but they're just so expensive. And I have one on this list that is so expensive that I am willing to pull the trigger on, and Inglot isn't the one. So I think Inglot is actually going to be coming off of my list for brands that I want to try in 2021, and they weren't one that carried in to 2020 from 2019, so they're kind of a like passing thing for me. I think I also am really mesmerized by their palette structure. I think their palettes are kind of interesting. It's just got that, you know, piece of plastic on top of it, but I also think that that can be kind of a mess. Lethal Cosmetics is one that is on this list that wasn't a carryover from 2019, but will continue more than likely on my 2021 list, because Lethal is still a cosmetics company that intrigues me, still a cosmetics company that I want to try from. I've heard nothing but amazing things about their formula, and now they have face pans as well. And I was just on Instagram earlier today and saw this like trifold palette that they have that fits like a bunch of their singles as well as some face palettes. It's a bigger palette than what they've offered as of yet. And I'm really excited to get one of those in my basket and start filling stuff up in it. I am excited about Lethal Cosmetics. I am excited to try their brand. So it will carry over into the 2021 realm of brands to try. I am certain of it. And yes, they are expensive, but I don't know. There's just something that draws me to them a little bit more than Inglot. And Inglot is incredibly expensive. I don't know. Maybe their price points are the same, but on the realm of what I can build a basket to get on Inglot and what I can build a basket to get on Lethal, I think Lethal is more in my price point, or what I'm willing to spend on a product that I can't touch first. And then the last one that I didn't try this year that was on this list is Cleona Cosmetics. I want to show you guys a list. So I'm showing this to you because this list was generated when we first started quarantine. And this is my Cleona Cosmetics list. This is the list of all the eyeshadows that I want from Cleona Cosmetics. And then I have them ranked in order of importance. So they're highlighted in one color for most important and another color for least important. And then the ones in the middle are just not highlighted at all. There's so many shadows on here that I want. I think when I drilled down to it, what I wanted from Cleona Cosmetics was going to cost me somewhere around $500. And I was like, I want to. But I also built that list right after, you know, everything closed down in March, and I couldn't justify it, but I guarantee you Cleona Cosmetics will show up in my collection this coming year. It has to happen because I want them so bad. And when I do things like love on Natasha Denona, but talk about how I don't want the Trio Chrome palette because, or well, how I'm not going to spend money on the Trio. I want it because it's Natasha Denona, but I'm not going to spend money on the Trio Chrome palette because those 3 multi-chromes in there look nothing like the Cleona Trio Chromes and multi-chromes, and I want Cleona multi-chromes. I need to have them in my collection at this point when I am dogging on a brand I stan because they don't have multi-chromes as awesome as a brand that I don't even have in my collection. I need to have some in my collection. That's how I feel about it. So they will end up in my collection at some point in time. So then we get into the brands that I have tried. The 4 on my list that I wanted to try that are on my list and I have tried are Melt, Nabla, Zoeva, and Kaja. What I have to say is Kaja is not as amazing as it was made out to be. I bought a bento box based on all the kudos that Hannah, Smoky Glow Hannah, was giving on them, and it is good, but I don't think it's amazing. And I also have a lip tint from them that is decent. It's a decent lip balm with a tint, and I do like it. I do wear it. I think that what really brings that brand to life is the gimmickiness of that brand, honestly, and I don't need the gimmickiness. I do like the bento box shadows that I got. I got this one, and it is the sparkling rose one, so it's got these 3 shades in it, and they're all, you know, they're all like glitter or, you know, shimmery shades, and they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I think that they are beautiful, but they're just not as amazing as some of the other formulas that I have in my collection. And this was $21 for 3 shades. Like, these shades were $7 a piece. I would rather spend that money on Cleona, honestly. And I will say that I think that they're good, they're decent. I just don't think that they're amazing. So I'm glad to have that done and over with. I'm glad to have that brand out of my mindset as something. I don't even look twice at their items anymore. Let me tell you something. That powder, that like joystick powder thing that they came out with, like, what the F is that? Who needs that? Zoeva. I have used Zoeva. I bought a foundation from Zoeva, which is really light, right? Wrong color. Beautiful foundation. Beautiful foundation. I also bought some lip liners from Zoeva that are the creamiest lip liners. I have a blush palette from Zoeva. The one thing that I don't have from Zoeva is eyeshadows, but the things that I have tried from Zoeva this year, I have absolutely loved. I think that they're a brand that I will continue to stay focused on, or, you know, just continue to peek in on. The thing is their eyeshadows don't intrigue me right now. They don't have anything out that is intriguing to me as far as eyeshadows go. They're very much not a ho-hum brand, so to speak, but their color choices for eyeshadow palettes are very, very neutral in nature, and that's obviously not me right now, but I am interested in potentially trying some eyeshadows from them when they do come out. But of what I have tried from the brand, I do think that they are really, really great. I love their lip liners. Their lip liners are spectacular, and I wish that this, I don't know what possessed me to get a shade so damn light of this foundation. This is 050N Beautiful. So it's one of the most pale ones in their collection. Why did I do that? I don't know. I can bronze it up really well. It looks really nice on my skin when I do bronze it up really well, but I have to be really pale to wear it. So I did get some darkening drops though, so maybe I'll throw everything. Maybe I'll stick some darkening drops in it and see what I can do to make it work for me for now. But yeah, I mean, really nice brand, really great products. They started selling at Ulta, and I think that that was my cue to be like, yes, let's try it. So I did. I bought a bunch of stuff from them. I tried it, and you know, they're not bad. They're not half bad. I am happy to have them in my collection and glad I got to try them out this year. The next one I have on here is Nabla. Nabla is a really great brand as well. I've tried a couple things from them. I do have a couple eyeshadows from them. I just recently bought the the silver tone, cool tone cutie palette. I bought, I have a highlighter from them. Their highlighter is probably one of my favorite highlighters. I haven't tried the cutie palette yet, but great pigmentation, great longevity of their shadows. I think that their highlighter is phenomenal. One of my favorites. It's a little bit of a bouncier texture. Let me grab it. It's a little bit of a bouncier texture. This is the one in Privilege. It's one of their skin glazing highlighters. You guys can see I have used quite a bit of it. The word Nabla that is there in the center is no longer there in the center. It says NA and that's it. So I have used it quite a bit, but this is it. And it's just such a beautiful highlighter. It's got a little bit of a bouncy texture. It reminds me a smidge of ColourPop, the Super Shock Cheeks, the Super Shock highlighters, only not like wet feeling, and definitely doesn't dry out, obviously, because it's in this kind of format. It's not like a screw on top. It's not airtight. It doesn't dry out like that. So it's a different texture, but reminds me of the ColourPop Super Shock highlighters. It looks beautiful on your skin. Beautiful on your skin. And I'm interested to try more from them. I really did like my experience with Nabla. Then the last thing on this list was Melt. Melt was a carryover from 2019. So I'm not sure what put Melt on my radar. It might have been the stacks, because the stacks look just so interesting. But I just recently purchased stacks. I haven't even tried them yet. I did get the Lovesick stack and the Gunmetal stack. I will say this, these are a pain in the ass because they're metallic, and just now I tried to put them together and it didn't want to go together, and therefore this guy here, you can see, dug into my shadow here, and that is irritating. It's irritating. These are a hot mess. These are a mess. I have some of their blushes. I have a highlighter from them. I have their More Eterno collection. Thank you, Grace. I think that this brand is fantastic. Fantastic. The pigmentation, I am so happy to have Melt in my collection. I've heard this sway both ways, like they're not consistent, like they can get patchy. I think that they can, but I think that they probably can because they're so pigmented. Their shadows are crazy sauce. Their blushes are beautiful. They're not texture emphasizing their highlight. I have the highlight from the More Eterno collection. You guys, look at this highlight. Look at how beautiful that is. I dig in only to the sides because I don't want this imprint to go away. I don't want the skull to go away. Their stuff is just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So Melt is expensive, but I would say that Melt is worth it. There's only a few brands that I have in my collection that I really feel like are brands that are worth the money that you're going to pay for them, and Melt is one of them, honestly. I couldn't be happier to have the More Eterno collection in my collection. It's bar none the only time I have looked at a collection that has come out and felt the desire within me so heavy to get that collection, and I was so bummed because I knew I wasn't going to be able to. And then my friend Grace came through for me, and I just was so elated to get this collection in my collection. So I can't be let me pull it out. I cannot be any more thrilled. And if it weren't for Grace, I wouldn't have them in my collection. But you guys, just how stunning is the packaging? And truly, these shades are this blue is quite possibly the best navy blue I have ever had in my life. These are gonna stain your eyes. They're gonna. But look at the pigmentation. Like, I can't even. These, I'm so glad that I persevered with keeping melt on my radar for as long as I had, because look at my finger. Look at that. That's never gonna come off. So yeah, I tried 4 brands out of the 10 that I chose to try this year. And the brands that I did choose to try, I'm really glad that I ended up trying the pieces of their collection as a brand that I got to try. I think that, you know, I hear a lot of things about like the Melt Smoke Sessions palette. I think that's what drove me to put Melt on my list, honestly, is that Smoke Sessions palette. I wanted that so bad. But when I listened to all of the grief that people went through with that Smoke Sessions palette, I'm glad that I didn't try Melt then and got to try Melt here, because I don't know that I'd feel the same way about Melt if I had tried that palette first. With Nabla, the thing that really drove me to put their brand in my collection was the highlighters, and I couldn't be happier to have that highlight in my collection. I think it's a beautiful highlight. Zoeva, Kaja, I mean, that was probably a miss for me, but I'm really happy to have tried the 4 different brands out of the 10 that I had to try for this year, and keep watching, because the brands that intrigue me for 2021 will be coming to you guys in a couple weeks. So what brands did you have on your list to try in 2020, and did you succeed? Because when we think about it, like, I tried 4 of the 10 brands, that's 40%. I failed. I fail. What brands did you have on your list to try, and did you fail? And what brands are you going to put on your 2021 list? I'd be interested to hear. Thank you guys so much for coming to visit my channel today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that if you did, you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. It really does help our channels out here. It tells YouTube that people are out here watching our videos, liking our videos, and gives them some indication that maybe they should put them out there for more people to see in their feeds. Helps our channels grow just a little bit. I hope that you also liked it, or me, enough that you're considering subscribing to my channel before you go. If you do that, please don't forget to hit the notification bell. It will notify you every single time I upload a video. Typically, when it's not Vlogmas, I am uploading content 3 to 4 times a week, and I would hate for you to hit the subscription bell and never see me in your feed. So please make sure that you're doing that so that you're not missing anything. I hope that December is treating you well, and that you and yours are safe out there, that you're staying well, that you're staying safe, and that you're wearing your masks every time you're out there in public, because Lord knows I don't want to see you guys getting sick, and Lord knows when we have Captain Crazy out there running around getting everybody sick, because they either A, don't know that they're sick, or B, refuse to wear a mask, or whatever the case may be. But please wear your masks if for no other reason but to keep yourself safe. Thank you guys so much for coming to my channel again. I really am humbled by the fact that you choose to spend some time with me as part of your day. I know that you don't have to, so it warms my heart so very much that you do. Please continue to love each other, but love each other from afar. And until next time, bye everyone.